I'm putting the #1 quarterback out of high school on a one-star college and seeing what happens. Meet Armonte Edwards Jr., the son of an Appalachian State legend who led the Mountaineers to a historic FCS upset over #5 Michigan back in 2007. And even though they're coming off of a 5-6 season, he's looking to follow in his father's footsteps at Appalachian State. Just looking at the freshman quarterback stats, you're going to notice that he is basically 90 throw accuracy for every category, which will be needed since I'll be playing this on Heisman mode, and this video will be his entire freshman year. With teams like #8 NC State on the schedule, we're going to have a pretty difficult season in front of us. The goal is to somehow win a national championship. And also be in the Heisman Trophy running. I'm not sure if we can make that happen, but we're starting off against our rivals. Now here's the thing about this team. You're going to see the roster is terrible. It's a 74 overall, and the receivers that we are throwing the ball to are not fast, so it's not like I can hit any deep passes, which is going to really challenge me in this quarterback road to glory. I don't have a great feeling about how this debut is about to go, but I guess we'll see what happens. And there is the final twist. Armonte Edwards Jr. is a left-handed quarterback just like his father. If you've watched my channel, you would know I'm not good with left-handed quarterbacks. And the fact that we are already on a 3rd and 19 is extremely concerning. I can't throw it up to anybody because we don't have that fast of receivers. We're going to be short, and we're clearly not going to go for it now. Our defense would not get a stop either. We're going to have to just throw it and hope for the best. Please hold on. Because if there is anything I learned from that last drive, it's if I hold on to the ball for too long, it won't go well. As you can see, we're already starting to have a little bit more success. Man-to-man coverage means we can step up right here. We're going to juke out a defender. And the final play of the first quarter could be our first passing touchdown. We just need to get in. That makes me feel a little bit better. I just noticed we're playing this on a neutral site. And their alignment over on Hetzel, once our defense forced a stop, doesn't look the best, but they just left the flat open instead. We've gotten this ball back in a good position. I'm going to hand it off to Castle. He is like nowhere to go, which makes it 3rd and 2 for us. If we take our drag, we should pick this up, but it was knocked loose. From there, we're just going to settle for 3. Or at least I thought we would since coach pulled me out of the game. But apparently we went for it on 4th and 2, and it says that we threw for the touchdown even though it didn't let us play this snap. That type of stuff happens all the time in Road to Glory. It doesn't really surprise me. Our halfback screen on our next drive's getting us a bit. But I will say, if we're going to get pulled out on 4th down no matter what, we're going to have to avoid getting to that spot. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but I think this game's actually going pretty well. Right here, we are going to be able to run for like 8. And we just need Armonte Edwards Jr. to get enough time back there in the pocket, or he can scramble like this. Either way, we are now past midfield. It looks like they have man-to-man coverage out there. Are we running 3 plays in a row? He only has 83 speed. Maybe that's something we should focus on upgrading. Man-to-man coverage, we're going to throw the hitch. And with a minute left in this first half, we continue to get down the field. If they're going to cover the slant route, we'll run again. This is the exact way that we need to play if I'm going to do anything with Appalachian State in this video. Shed that tackle, fight your way in. And what a debut so far. Maybe he does have a shot at winning the Heisman Trophy. I don't know what Charlotte did wrong either, but they've gotten us the ball back with 16 seconds left in this first half, so we could get even more points. And whatever we do here, I cannot throw an interception, though we might be able to just run it ourselves. However, coach has pulled me out of the game, which means we're going to take our 3, but because it's Road to Glory, I'm okay with that because I have like no control over what happens. I mean, right after we play against Charlotte, we're going to have to face off against NC State. It's going to be much tougher. But from what I'm seeing so far, a 5-star quarterback could really change around a 1-star program. Who's shocked by that? We are going to have a chance to run the ball right here, but they were ready for the read option, so it was better to just let our running back go to work. And despite only having 86 speed, Anderson Castle's starting to put in some work. Here on 2nd and 7, they're bringing in 5. We might have a touchdown right here, though. Never mind. It could be picked as well. It is a tutty, and that's where the amazing accuracy is coming up clutch. I just can't believe we caught it. After our defense has gotten us another stop, we're basically just going to try to run out some clock. That's a good run from Anderson Castle. But they are going to get us to a 3rd and 11, which would be nice to convert on, and I'm not sure our legs are going to carry us all the way there. It's a turnover. There was no reason to fumble that ball away there. We were having a perfect game, which is why I need to be a bit more careful on this next 3rd and 11, though they probably ran commit, which has left our receiver open, and that might be the only time we beat them deep. You know what? Armonte Edwards Jr. made up for his mistake. He ended this game the right way. And it is so much fun to play as a 5-star quarterback in Road to Glory. This first stat line's pretty good. I see a bright future ahead. And when it comes to saving up skill points to upgrade him, Mobile Deadeye could be a lot of fun. So could Extender. I've already gotten one of those abilities, but we also have to think about ratings. We could max out accuracy. We could give him more elusiveness. And if we really start saving up skill points, we could even upgrade his quickness. That is a lot to consider. For now, though, we're just going to hop into our next one against #7 NC State. And I think we have room in this video to lose 1 game this season and still make it to the college football playoffs, but that is absolutely it. So the pressure is certainly on at the moment, but look at where we are starting this first drive. Despite our defense being terrible on paper, they've played pretty well for us so far. And ideally, we could just get into the end zone right here as we catch the ball. There was a dude in his face. It didn't matter. He still got it out. And I feel like I just gotta trust this team. Running the ball is gonna help us out a bit too. That's something I normally stray away from in Road to Glory whenever I'm a quarterback, but I feel like we have to mix things up every so often. It's just for these big plays like 3rd and 1, I am gonna put it into the hands of him, and he's gonna break that tackle to allow us to get the first down just like. That could have gone south fast. The run's also not working now. But ideally, I think we're gonna be able to hit our tight end super fast, and what is our offensive line doing? Speaking of this kid's last name, he literally just dodged the lineman, and he's put us in a terrible spot on 3rd and 20 because I highly doubt that we're gonna be able to pick it up. To me though, it's better to do that than throw an interception. But our defense would start to show its true colors, and now we're throwing an inaccurate ball. That is what I was expecting out of this season though, right there. And here we go, 3rd and 11. Is this game gonna fall apart this fast? We need to scramble for the first down. We're not making it. Fortunately, we are gonna get it back though. Easy check down will get us like 5 yards. And I'm kind of hoping for man-to-man coverage right here, though we'll take the drag even if it's zone because that works. And the backdrop in Appalachian State Stadium is truly beautiful, though right here, there is no way that this works for a first down. We're short. All right, here we go. It is 3rd and 1. We're gonna be able to complete this, go all the way down to the 10. That was a great move. And no matter what, I think we're gonna be able to have at least a tie game when it comes to the half. Before the next play, we've let the clock run down a little bit, and now we're gonna instantly roll out. I felt like we would be able to scramble in, but unfortunately, my judgment was wrong on 3rd and goal. I don't really like anything here. Again, I want to use our legs. I've seen way too many mistakes down in that position whenever you put it in the air. But that first half could not have gone much better than it did, and starting off in the second half, we have the ball. I think the key to beating them through the air is going to be little dink and dunk passes like this that can get us 10 yards. So coach loves calling this read option play. They actually bid on the running back for once, and we're able to run for 6. I am starting to consider, though, upgrading speed whenever it comes to our future upgrades. So we'll see what we end up doing right there. If this is man-to-man, we're going to take that route, and we're going to make sure we get the first. I mean, under all the pressure in the world, we've actually handled things well. That was our biggest run yet. Though I might be about to do something very stupid. I want to see what look the defense gives us because I felt like I could fit the ball into that window. We're in the end zone. That is a sniper right there. We have a chance to be the top 10 team. Even better, the Wolfpack would not score on their next drive. I'm not sure what's going wrong over there, but they have put me in a position that I am not going to waste, though we can't fumble. Oh gosh. So far, whenever you look at the team stats, it's been pretty even, but we're the ones that have finished our drives and made stuff happen on 3rd and 2. That's what I'm talking about. That makes the difference. I am due to make many mistakes. They just haven't happened yet. On 2nd and 6, we are able to avoid the tackle for a second. And if you can't tell, I am draining some of the clock because I want this to be one of the final drives. That literally should have been an interception though. We're going to throw the slant immediately, and there's the first interception. I'm starting to panic. There was no reason for that. I probably could have scrambled, especially since we're going to have to pick up one first down or it's not over. I am honestly just hoping that they run commit right here so we can make sure that we get the first. It isn't happening though. And this is a huge moment in this game. 3rd and 6, they send in the blitz and our tight end brings this in. I cannot believe it, but we are going to survive. And you're not going to see us choke away a win against a top 10 team, actually a top 7 team. They were rated even higher. I will say the passing yards weren't the most impressive stat in the world, but the passing touchdowns are pretty important because if we want to get higher levels of the field general ability to show post-snap blitzers, we need to throw for 20 touchdowns. I'm also going to make sure that we keep on training quite a bit so we keep on leveling up. And one thing I've picked up from Road to Glory is if you want your GPA to rise up a bunch without studying all the time, you want to study a lot for one of the quizzes. It'll actually make a pretty big difference. Our next matchup's going to be against Toledo, and after facing them, we're going to play at number 16 Boise State on their blue field. Then we play all of our conference games where Louisiana's already ranked. If we're being transparent, that worries me a bit because it shows once we get to conference play, there are teams in the Sun Belt that could take us down that are actually good. And I feel like I have to test on this first play just right off the rip, throwing it through the seam and getting us 25. If we had some fast receivers, that would have been a touchdown, which is a little frustrating. But that's just the challenge that we're going to be facing. Right here, we can roll out, and if we get some good blocks, this is going to be our biggest run yet. Swerve into the inside and go into the 14 till we fumble it away. I shouldn't have gotten greedy right there. I think we need to find the carrying stat and just upgrade it, because Toledo would follow up that huge play and turnover with a touchdown, and they're up 7-0. That just threw off everything for us. Now we're in a spot where we're on a 3rd down that we are going to complete somehow. I'm not sure how he's still standing either going to midfield, but we needed a play like that, and we should be able to get this one to Hetzel, who's able to reel it in. We'd follow that up with a couple 2-yard runs each time, which has put us in a 3rd down where I'm just going to have to take care of it myself. And I'm honestly really hoping this is man-to-man coverage right here because we should have a curl route and get a little bit closer. This is a pretty solid response so far. After the fumble, that's going to be where it needs to be. And guess where our next drive is starting? We could not have gotten luckier with the positioning that our defense has put us in. We just took that in. Back-to-back plays, back-to-back touchdown passes. And that is how quickly everything can change in a game, though right right here, we need to get to that ball first. I'm starting to get a little bit more confident after that. I think we're going to beat them with man-to-man coverage. We were just able to get that ball out. And I'm really hoping our corner route can do the same thing right here. But if it's not open, you know that that kid's going to block and we're going to run all the way in. 21 straight points. It is our time to shine. And they're getting a bit more aggressive on defense. They're coming out pressing. So we're going to see how good we are when it comes to a deep ball. We've come away with it. The confidence is almost a bit too high at the moment. I know that I'm due to make a mistake at some point. Right here, I didn't want to force it. But I know what the goal is. It's get another passing touchdown, and that is going to happen. I'm just so glad that I've realized we have some receivers with their 90 speed that can get a little bit of leverage on some of the worser corners, but they're also able to swat it. It's not going to be something that we're going to have too often, but it's probably enough to keep an eye on the streaks. But as you can see, the second I start looking downfield more, we're not doing as well offensively, though we caught it. I will give them credit, though. They've started to figure things out defensively until right here when we're able to complete this pass. And we have such a big lead. This is probably the main drive of the game that I'm still going to want to show because it's important. Right now, we are going for 5 touchdowns in 1 half. I think we're going to come away with it. And what a choke job that was right there. Now we're going to really struggle to get that touchdown because there's only so much time left. We're going to fumble it again. I tried to slide. To make matters worse, the first thing Toledo did to start this second half was score points, which then puts the pressure right back on us. And do you know how we're handling that pressure so far? Not well. They could easily get it back within 7 points. If we don't pick up this 3rd and long, I think we're going to be a little bit short. And they've pulled us out for 4th and inches. Even though I was kind of expecting us to go for it right there, it looks like we did take our 3. We're able to make this throw on the run. We're already up by 17. And I think any concerns I had of Toledo potentially coming back should have been thrown out the window. We ended up not doing anything too impressive with that drive, but by the time we got the ball back again, there's like no time left. So even if Toledo tacked on another touchdown, we're going to end the game. And I gotta say, starting 3-0 was not what I was expecting. We also could have had a much better stat line than this, but the second half was just dragging on. And so far, it's not interceptions I have to worry about. It's actually the number of fumbles that we've had. That's too many mistakes for a few games, but I found where we could upgrade our carrying. I just don't care to increase our awareness or play action with it. It really stinks those are the other upgrades we could get. I might not even touch our carrying, though I want to. But I guess it'll all depend on this game. If we end up fumbling it a lot again, we have no choice. It's going to be a sea of blue out there, that is for sure. We're going to open it up by hitting our drag route for a 1st down. And I'm telling you right now, if this is man-to-man coverage, this could be such a great start, though the safety's getting over there, and he wasn't quick enough, so we're getting our biggest touchdown yet. That was literally perfect. We're facing off against a top 15 team. I'm going to set my feet to make sure that throw is right where it needs to be. And I know the rest of this roster is not the best, but we can compete with anybody. Armani Edwards Jr. adds a lot to this team. We're going to hit our slant. We're going to be able to pick up 20 yards. And it's really blown my mind how good he's making some of these 70 overall receivers look, though our tight end had like 0 separation there. I'm glad it still worked out for us. This is going to be cover 3. You could tell from the start. And Hamlet might be able to get open on that corner route. If it's zone, though, we're going to hit the hitch route, or we're evidently not going to hit the hitch route. 3rd down, get it out to our running back, fall short, and watch coach take us out instead of being aggressive. Without us out there on the field, though, he still called for us to go for it there. We just had no control over what happened. And that's how we still have the ball in this spot. We aren't going to be able to run this in, though, are we? Here we go. 3rd and goal. I don't like what I'm seeing, but I'm pretty sure I missed a slant. It was clearly just meant for us to get a field goal out of that drive. They read the read option perfectly. And I know we have a 2-possession lead, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't feel like it. I feel like it could all fall apart at any moment, though that's a great turn up field. Now we're going to go with a 4 verticals play call. Our running back's stuck, but he will always be there eventually if they drop everybody back. And if we end up calling shakes, which I'm pretty sure we're going to use a lot in this video, we are going to be able to hit routes like this. No guarantees that they're going to catch them, though. They have zone coverage on 3rd down. We're able to throw that ball on the run. And the strategy seems pretty simple. Just wait for Hetzel to get open with his slant and take it, or we can step up. Now, this is where I failed to throw for a touchdown the last time. That same mistake isn't happening again. And we are currently embarrassing Boise State. It could get even worse before halftime, too. They've gotten us the ball back in an interesting spot. We still have 2 minutes to get down the field, which is plenty of time. We're currently dissecting their defense, and if we had more speed, we would have scored right here. Do not fumble. Do not fumble. The sliding animation on this game just takes way too long. I'm gonna blame it on that. But you also have to consider we have 62 carrying, which isn't making it any easier for us. Everything was going flawlessly until that one turnover. Now I'm starting to struggle a little bit. Right here, we aren't gonna run for the first. And honestly, I'd rather just take things into the end of the first half if we don't catch this ball. That worked out way better for us. We are able to miss our tight end in the third. So the struggles after the one mistake have continued, and right here, I don't know if we're gonna make it that far. are. We clearly need to upgrade some stuff. But at the same time, I also have to mention that we have -6 speed due to wear and tear. That's opened things up for Boise State. At the moment, we are only up by 10. They were finally able to score. And this is a pretty crucial 3rd and 3 where our running back got stuck and then didn't turn around. Fortunately, the Broncos did absolutely nothing with their next drive, but it shows we need to be a bit more careful. I don't want to blow this lead to them. So you know what that means. Anderson Castle is going to get his chance to shine. Will he do anything with it? Probably not. Our offensive line is terrible. And that puts us on a 3rd and 10 where we just needed some more time. Sure enough, Boise State would score again, and all of a sudden, we're throwing the football. I am feeling the pressure of the comeback at the moment. They have all of the momentum in the world. But I think after that completion, we are 2 first downs away from winning. They are not going to be easy to pick up, though, if they're coming out pressing, and I just threw it straight to them. I panicked. They had instant pressure. I don't know what happened to our left guard, but I noticed there was a dude right there all of a sudden. Stop shaking off your wrist. That is a freshman move right there, acting like you were injured, and that's what caused the interception. Anyway, the result of it was we gave up a touchdown, so we are losing this game with 50 seconds left. I cannot believe that we just choked the lead that we had, and the pressure is really on. Nobody seems to want to play well for us, though, or catch the football. Right here, we're going to need this playmaker to work out well in our favor. We have a lot of bluegrass in front of us, not green grass. And we are just 30 yards away from the end zone now. We have to throw this over those zones, though, and I'm afraid they might make a play on that ball. It actually worked, though. We caught that, and now we're going to have our tight end just come up to it. Don't drop it. That's a little annoying right there. I was hoping for the best. We're going to go to our corner route in the back of the end zone. But once again, it is a letdown. Right here, throw it to our tight end and throw the interception. I have no words. We have lost a game that we shouldn't have lost. In fact, that is the most frustrated I think I've ever gotten in a video. Armani Edwards Jr. just put his full body on the line. He's taken a beating here. And all I can take away from this is we are going to bounce back harder than ever the rest of the season. I'm not about to sit here and promote pizza. We are eating on a very clean and strict diet. And I have saved up 10 skill points, but we're not going to upgrade our speed. We are going to upgrade our carrying, and then instead of upgrading our accuracy all the way up to the max, I went over here to abilities. I got a silver extender, which improves our ability to break sacks, and then I'm also going to get mobile deadeye, so we have improved accuracies on the run. My hope is in this next game against South Alabama. It feels like we have an even better player, but I think I'm gonna have a very hard time getting that last choke job out of my head. I feel like what happened against Boise State was we simply got too comfortable. We were having so much success, and then all of a sudden we weren't. On 3rd and 1, we're able to at least move the chains, but it's still taken a lot to power through that last loss because I thought we had the win locked up. I almost need a big play to go our way or something like this right here where it looks like we've beat the defensive back, and that'll definitely help out with getting my confidence back. We have the slant here, and we're gonna have enough. I'm telling you right now, I am perfectly okay with running up the score. If we have to do that, it works for me. And I have learned absolutely nothing when it comes to sliding. I almost feel like trying to get more points, though, could be what hurt us in the last game because we were in a spot against Boise State where we could have closed it out. And it's so frustrating to know that if that kid didn't have 87 speed and he had like 95 speed, we have a touchdown every time. It's all about the consistencies, though. Hitting these passes, we upgraded our accuracy for a reason. Though in order for that ability to kick in, we need to be on the run, so that's what I've tried to do here. It's probably only going to work if we roll out to the left side, but that is manageable. That's something that we can take care of. He's running back to let me throw an interception straight to him. What am I thinking? Wait, did we force a fumble off that hit? Hang on, we're the greatest quarterback ever. I hit him so hard that the ball popped back out there. I think this might be the greatest thing I've ever done in Road to Glory. Was it a terrible play? Yes, but Edwards Jr. comes in, boom, knock that crap loose, and then we pick it up. He just channeled all that frustration and leveled that poor kid. And now we need to make up for that dumb interception. How are we going to do that? We're going to do that by almost throwing another. The separation might not be there, but the accuracy is. And we are taking some shots right now. This slant is going to be picked. Are you serious? I might lose my mind, though I told myself I wouldn't. And here's the problem. This is probably cover 3, which means we could have a touchdown right here, but I'm so scared and I'll still throw it. I was kind of just preparing for another interception. That'd be like 5 in 2 games, but we knew they were coming at some point. I also think they got some interesting coverage out there because number 6, are you fast enough to keep up? No. I should probably have learned from those interceptions that I don't need to be throwing the ball as much as we have been, though. So I can promise you, once we take our 3-possession lead against South Alabama, we will gladly run the ball. I am interested in wins only. I want this team to win a conference championship to make it to the college football playoffs. So I thought we had set ourselves up to kick a field goal, but no, instead we ended up missing it. We also gave up another touchdown, so it's 21-14. And this has given me similar vibes to the Boise State game that we just played, where it feels like we have full control and then I get a little settled down. I take my foot off the gas, we choke the game, I want to lose my mind, but not this time. Strowman is going to turn into the fastest player in the country when we need him to, and he's still getting caught. It is clear to me that he is not going to beat the defense deep. You know what? I'll let him go to work with the drag. That's consistent. But it's frustrating to know that I can't guarantee a field goal despite being this far down the field. On 3rd and 5, I think I'm just going to make a run for it. If we let our protection hold, we are going to be able to run for quite a bit. The sliding is so delayed. I don't know if it's because I made him 6'5", 240 pounds. I thought that'd be fun, but it takes this man way too long to get on the ground. And I think I'm setting a record for the most I have ever turned it over in a road to glory before. We're literally sitting at 5-0 with a perfect record. If I just slide a little bit sooner, I tried to there. But I'm always getting those extra yards that are hurting us, and at the last second, that defender cut back off the ball. I don't think you all need to panic. I think we can win. It all just comes down to what I do inside the red zone. Will I run into a hit stick or not? It would also make things easier if I wasn't greedy trying to get a passing touchdown, but we get it. And then South Alabama responds back extremely quickly, which means now we have to do the same thing again. If we can get in a field goal range, I would feel a little bit more comfortable. I think we're going to do that with this throw, but no, feet set and everything, we're not going to hit that pass, and that zone was sticking with our receiver until his own defender just got in the way. All right, from this point on the field, we can probably run out some clock. And with a run right here, I know that we can take it to the 2-minute warning. On the other side of it though, we have a pretty big 3rd and 5 that they're gonna hold us on. I really hope that we hit our field goal this time, but apparently we didn't kick. We went for it and we've just gotten lucky. I mean, we are blessed. We should be able to take care of things from here, let the clock run, but part of me still wants to get another touchdown against them, which could be a mistake right here. It is. At least I know we're gonna hit this field goal. We were too close to mess it up, so we are gonna beat South Alabama, but that was a bit risky. At the end of the day, it's not worth better stats. The turnovers are what makes our stats look bad. And taking a first look at our conference standings, there's only a few of us that are still undefeated in our division. In order to make it to the conference championship, we've got to beat all those teams, which means we can't lose to Marshall. And I understand there's already been a lot of moments of struggling throughout this year, but it's got to end now. The fumbles, the interceptions, the mistakes, they simply need to go away in this game. I'm not sure how they didn't just bring us down. And I bet we're going to have Tucker deep right here. We just need to get the right look. It's not there, so instead we're going to roll out, we're going to playmaker, and we're going to throw it straight at them, where we've broken the tackle. That was so dumb. You know, some of the comments saying I'm bad at this game for how much I play it are very valid after reads like that one, but I just like to have a good time. Granted, it probably didn't look like I was having a great time after we lost that one to Boise State, but that was unexpected. What are we doing? Back-to-back balls our receivers simply can't run under. We catch this one, and I'm going to be looking for our tight end up the seam right here. Linebacker just backed up, though, which means we can take our underneath route. I feel like we are opening this game up pretty well. We're going to have a touchdown right here, nobody around it. But this happens every single game. We start out super strong and then things go downhill. I think it's because I start trying to force stuff deep a little bit more, though my offensive line's doing me no favors. It is now 7-7. We have beaten the press over on that left side of the field, something that is very rare. And we might not take it for a touchdown, but it's still going to get us a pretty large gain. Rolling out to the right is such a bad habit, though. You would think I would break it at some point. This was a good completion. And here we go. 3rd and 5. I have my tight end in mind that I want to get this ball to. We're going to roll out and we're just going to scramble for it, even if I did want to playmaker him. I have learned my lesson. It's not worth the potential turnover. I threw that ball on the cut. And Strowman's going to have to beat the press over on that corner. He didn't tend to do that right there, but we are going to have a 5-yard pass there. Here on 3rd down, I'm really hoping for zone coverage. Man-to-man means we're going to have to get over that cornerback's head. And I've seen some crazy animations where they go up and like catch it behind their head. Did not happen right there. I'm actually really happy about how that drive ended for us. Right here, I think we're going to have our 4 vertical deep play working out for us. You never know if that'll get played or not. But they had nobody back there to help out that safety or corner, and their man-to-man coverage just stuck on our inside route, which is why we scrambled. It almost feels like we're moving down the field too quickly. There's still a minute left in this first half, and that's why we ran the ball there. Wanted to burn through a little bit of clock, but their man-to-man coverage is not going to stick on our zig forever. I feel like we are redeeming ourselves a little bit in this performance, and it would be pretty delusional to expect myself to be perfect. Right here, though, that's why we have the extender ability. I think that's going to save us plenty of times throughout this season. On 3rd and 1, you know that we can pick up the first down, but I'm starting to take a lot of hits hits without sliding, and I shouldn't even be throwing this ball up. That needs to be out of bounds. It almost doesn't matter if we beat them off the line because they're so much faster. And that's why I thought it was a better decision to just take the sack right there. They've gotten in pressure where we're going down again. It's okay though. I'd rather just get through this third quarter. I don't know why everything has to be so bright. It makes it hard to see with our yellow jerseys. And the sun does not need to be this much out. On third down, I cannot believe that we just got away with completing that pass. Dalton Stroman easily has over 100 yards. And there we go. Facing this side of the field, the sun is not going to be in our eyes, which means we should have an easier time getting down it. We also have Tucker in the slot right here. I could tell it was going to be a blitz. I know that Tucker's one of our faster receivers, but I didn't see the safety back there. So there's just another time where I go for the deep play, and it's such a bad decision. I'm really used to building up teams that have great receivers that will make that play pretty much every single time. And it's kind of sad that I don't know if we're going to win this game or not yet because we have not scored one more touchdown. There's the fumble. There's the fumble. I think if I stood in the pocket right there too, I had somebody. But you know what? Our defense bailed us out at the end. They were not able to score at all, so we're still going to get the win. And I might need to upgrade our carrying stat again. It might be a long rest of the season if we don't. We actually have 4 road games coming up after we play against Coastal Carolina, including Louisiana, who's still ranked. And just seeing our next opponent sitting at 3-0 in Sunbelt Conference play makes this so important. If we lose to Coastal, it means we have no shot to complete all my goals I have for the season. And I feel like most of our games this season have come at home. But before we finish the rest of this video, a word from Prize Picks, today's video sponsor. The entire season's come down to this, so you have to take advantage of this free square on Prize Picks during the big game. And it's easy to pair with anything, so this is what I went with, which you could copy or fade. Also, if you haven't already signed up to Prize Picks, which is available in these states, over 40 of them, my code CODEBOARD will get you $50 instantly whenever you play with your first $5 plus lineup on there. Just make sure that you play responsibly. And now it's time to resume the rest of this video. I mean, this is a great time to have our crowd backing us. I just know it's going to get harder after this. And after losing yards on that, we're just going to go for the simple slant, which is held on to. We're trying to avoid getting held to a 3 and out. On 3rd and 4, that's what we want to see. And I think we're going to be able to roll out right here and make a play, especially if that's some zone coverage. If they don't stick with him, it's even better. Our tight end is going to go all the way to the 25-yard line. Once again, opening up a game extremely well. It all seems to go downhill after stuff like this, though. And I think that missed throw seals it. The next thing I'm upgrading is our accuracy. There's literally no reason we should be on a 3rd and 10 right now. We literally had touchdowns. I think we're still going to get away with it. But that also could have gone much differently. Right here, 32 is sticking with us too well. Actually, we get the catch. I thought he was about to play that ball. I thought we were going to get an interception. That is simply not the case. And we're up 14-0 in a must-win game, but here's the problem. This is where things normally fall apart. There it is. There it is. Why would I put that there? It was 2 seconds late. I mean, we've gotten the ball back instantly, so it's not like it's going to affect us that much. We're even able to make that defender look stupid. We're going to run all the way to midfield. But I have to redeem myself, and in order to redeem myself, it means going for a huge touchdown right here, which is not going to work. There's 3 defenders back there. Did we just catch that? Hang on, Stroman might be the greatest receiver ever. If you want to get a highlight catch out of this video, that's going to be right here. Nothing gets better than holding on to this ball. And I think we're going to be able to dump this one off to Castle immediately. If we don't, though, we'll take a sack. If we don't get in here, it's all my fault because I wanted the passing touchdown. That's dropped. And this just wasn't worth it for the stats. Every so often, we should just hand it off in this spot. Normally, that's how you blow games, but our defense has gotten us the ball back where we are inside the 12. So I've been gifted another shot to get that touchdown, and I'm not going to make a mistake twice. Coastal Carolina would finally get on the board, though. This has been a very high-scoring first half. Look at Extender going to work right there, breaking the sack for us. The scramble's working wonders. But Armani Edwards Jr. wouldn't be too lucky on the next play. He'd take a sack, which has now gotten us into this spot where we almost got it all back. On 3rd and 1, we really don't need much. The drag route is always enough, and we might as well go for the touchdown here, though. If they're getting in pressure like that, the fact that we even got that ball out is incredible. The goal for this next play is to just roll out and throw this one to Larkins. We need him to get around that defensive back. And we're getting a 5-wide look next, which is going to leave the middle so open. This is my moment now that we have everything pretty much sealed to just throw an interception, though, and hurt our stat line, which is still very likely. Hopefully, I don't do it. I mean, this game is over unless I throw like a pick 6 or something, which I don't see happening. But I'm not sure if I'm the problem or if our receivers are the problem. Like, those should be catchable balls. It's just so frustrating whenever stuff like that happens. Our next drive doesn't go well. But it's not going to matter. Even with another Coastal Carolina score, we're running the entire fourth quarter out. The final score ended up being 34-14. Nobody else scored after that. And Armonte Edwards Jr. has been putting up this stat line basically all year. That is how we've already worked our way up to 7 skill points, and we are going to make sure our accuracy gets this good, which I think will help us even more against Old Dominion, who just picked up their first Sunbelt loss. When it comes to our division and conference play, we're actually in a pretty good spot if we're able to beat the Monarchs. But I'm pretty sure the last time we played on the road, we lost to Boise State. It is our time for redemption, though. There is no one saying that we aren't going to go out and destroy them. So that's the goal that we're going into this game with. 5 touchdowns, no less. Dropping the ball early certainly does not help, but it's okay. We'll see what we can do on our next drive. I think we're going to have to just go down in the pocket. I really don't want to be throwing any more interceptions. I've already had too many this season. I'm surprised we caught that. And now on this next one, I'll take the check down to our running back. I feel like I normally miss that route. It would be super nice if we could route up one of these corners, especially since they're coming out in man-to-man coverage. And then with a running back in motion on this play, I could have thrown it to him instantly. Instead, we are making the play of the century right here. Please don't be an interception. They didn't play that ball. I mean, that couldn't have been a worse throw. He moved it the second I went to throw it. But somehow, I have avoided turning the ball over in that spot, and we're going down. If you watched my first quarterback road to glory whenever I played this game the first time, though, I feel like I've gotten better. I'm willing to take losses like that and not force it into something that is simply not there. We're not going to be able to scramble 25 yards for a first down. I'll try to fight for it. But that did not work in our favor. We have a massive pole in front of us, which means I have to hand it off because I can't see anything. Great programming. At least on this next play, I have a little bit more vision. I really don't want to take a safety. That was a tight throw. But we're going to have to do something on 3rd and inches to make sure we move the chains, and we do. What did I say? 5 touchdowns, nothing less. It's still possible. It's not as likely, especially if they keep on sending in blitzes like that, because I am scared to force it anywhere. That has been their best defensive play call by far, though right here, I'm going to take our first shot at their press, see if we can actually get one of those throws to go our way. And guess where we are getting the ball with 55 seconds left in this first half. There's a chance for us to get to 21. We'll see if anybody can get open on this next play. I felt like our tight end had enough separation. And there's only one route I'm going to be staring down right here. It's our slant, and eventually it's there. We had so much time back there, though. We knew that we probably weren't going to be able to get that out. This works. That's a touchdown somehow. And we just need 2 more of those in the second half to completely dominate. We got to throw that away. I feel like if I wasn't using a left-handed quarterback, I could get a lot more of those plays to work for us. Right here, there's just somebody in the area. I couldn't throw it. But if this is cover 2, it's almost set up for Stroman to just beat them deep, and we're going to break that sack. That's what we want to see out of Edwards Jr. He's able to scramble and keep on going. I'm going to say this right now. The extender ability is like a top 3 ability, and it's going to cost us 7 skill points to keep on upgrading it, but it might be worth it. We'll see how we end up spending the rest of them throughout the year. On 3rd and 16, I'm not going to put this somewhere where we don't have to if it's not there, though we could still scramble for it and move the chains. And I know that Stroman can get open on that route if it's man-to-man coverage. The placement just needs to be good, and look at that. It took me like 6 or 7 games, but I'm finally playing really well. And I don't think I can allow myself to lose this momentum. I'm playing the rest of the night, though we finally lost it. I think that's still going to count towards a fumble on the stat sheet, even though we recovered it. On 3rd down, we're so tired we can't run. But what did I say? We're going to score 5 touchdowns against Old Dominion, and I got to make sure that remains true. I'm not about to lie in one of these videos. I am confident in my abilities still, even if we're going to be so much slower. Why am I scrambling? I should have known that'd be a fumble, knowing how tired we were. And that was actually the last time coach would let me out there on the field, because apparently I got injured on that play as well. I can't believe it, but even if it was a blowout, I didn't make it to 5 touchdowns. And I'm a bit annoyed by those fumbles, but then I saw this, that Field General had been upgraded to silver. So we've made some progress there. I think it's going to upgrade again after this, since we've thrown for 4 touchdowns in a single game already. We also have 3 coach points to spend, which means Mobile Deadeye can get up to silver. I think I just said coach points, meant skill points. Anyway, I'm looking at the other stuff we could upgrade throughout the year, and it feels like abilities are the way to go. We're a 94 overall quarterback as a freshman, which is just mental. Look at all this damage to our health, though. I'm going to have to spend basically all our energy recovering. You could also say this is the most important game of the season, because at the top of both of our divisions in the Sun Belt are us and Louisiana, which at the moment, if you looked at our schedule, would be the toughest opponent we face, since Boise State's down here at 13 and NC State's number 18. It's also going to be on the road, but you know that we've been playing well recently. So there is no doubt in my mind that we're about to go out there and handle business. We have gotten ourselves the first drive of the game, which is interesting. I'm a thread the needle. I haven't done that yet. Not against cover 3 at least. I've been scared to throw it with 4 verticals, but it was there and we're going to take it. We're also going to be able to scramble for like 20 yards. And if this is man-to-man coverage, you know that I'm going to go over to Stroman. It is. We just have to place this ball in the right spot and he can get the separation. They would respond back, but that's completely fine. We're going to get that same look the next play. I love these routes. They're the best in the game. We've been preparing for this moment all season. We can put up a lot of points. We're testing that corner. And coach is going to have to chill with all these 4 vertical play calls, though. If they're going to work like this, maybe we need to run that all game. That was a great juke, too. I will not be greedy in this situation, though. I know I've been greedy all season. I think it's worth it to hand it off, trust our running game, because one way or another, we need to find our way into the end zone, which we do. The way that they just scored again, that is exactly why. It is 14-all. I think we're about to take a sack. I can't evade the pressure forever. And neither team's defense has shown up so far, which is not good that we're on a 3rd down. I'm sure we'll find somebody open here, though, or we'll just step up and run. And this is the best game that you're going to get out of Sunbelt Conference play. There is no way anybody plays us better. That was so dumb. If that defender just turned around, we have an interception, though we had our slant. And instead, it's going to be 2nd and 10, where our tight end isn't really outrunning that dude by enough. I thought that he caught it, but it turns out that he didn't, so it's going to be 3rd down. I think we're going to fall short of the marker, and coach is going to take us out to then go for it. Never mind, we kicked our field goal, which I didn't know we could do from there, and Louisiana scored again. They also get the ball to start the second half, so we've got to get another field goal at least. Up until this game, our defense has performed past what I thought they would have done. But I'm not helping us out at all right there, literally running straight into the sack. And here we go, 3rd and 23. Will we be able to pick this up even with the playmaker? It's not happening. We've also fumbled it right to them. They somehow did not get a field goal out of that though, and I think we got to stop going with the 4 verticals. It's felt like that's been our only play call throughout this entire game. They have picked up on it. And I am just amazed at the fact that we aren't losing this by more. The stadium pulse is starting to pick up though. Hot routes are not working, so we're going to hope that our fade gets there. It doesn't. And I feel like things are starting to fall apart. 3rd and 14. This is a tough throw to make. We're not catching it. But they'd only get a field goal, and we still have 6 minutes left to change everything. Now, right here, we're not going to make it to the marker, which is a pretty big problem considering coach will punt the ball. We dropped it. I can't believe we got it back without them scoring again. I feel like we started this game off so well for us to just fall apart in the second half, though that completion is going to help us out a bunch. We're going to run it back as well, see if we can get another play like that. If the blocks line up, I mean, we should be able to throw it right above that defender's head. And here we go. This is the momentum that we were hoping for. Corner route, another throw, way off target. We have basically maxed out our accuracy for passes like that. Not a fan at all, though we placed it well here until it was dropped. And I can't handle this. It is now 3rd and 10, where our tight end's going to have to miraculously hold on to this one. The biggest issue is even if we do finish this drive off getting into the end zone, which we're going to do, now we have to wait to get the ball back again. I might have underestimated our defense though. They got the job done and we're in a pretty good spot. Don't fumble. That was very scary. I took a risk there. I probably shouldn't have. And then we found our flat, so we're fine. This entire game has been more chaotic and stressful than most of the ones we've played in recently, but it's tested us, which is good. We needed that for sure. And are you serious? It is now 3rd and 10. We're probably going to end up punting this ball. Wait, there's a flag. It's against us after we just completed that pass. They're bringing it back because of holding. And I don't know what else we could have done. Now we have to just hope for the best, and it's actually working in our favor. What's crazy is they have already started to call their timeouts, but they still have some. If we really want to seal this game, though, we are going to need to get one more first down, and that's what we have. I think from this point, we can trust the computer to make the field goal. But I'm telling you right now, if they miss this, I'm going to lose my mind. My new favorite controller, this blue one I got, would have been smashed, but instead we win. They got the field goal to go in. And it was a very stressful game, but we got the result we were looking for. By this point, we've basically locked in our spot in the Sunbelt Conference Championship. And we've even cracked our way into the top 25 in one of the polls, but we're somehow below Louisiana still. Either way, as long as we're able to win out, plus take the Sunbelt, we should be able to make the playoffs. And if you take a look at the field, you're going to notice that this is going to be our first game of the season in the snow, which could come with some issues. The first one is we are in white jerseys, so I might have a hard time seeing the field and making the right reads. That's not a good pass, but it should have been. I'm not sure why we missed that badly right there. I'm a little bit scared to throw, which is why I've run. Here on 3rd and 4, I'm just going to throw it to our halfback once he eventually gets open. Anderson Castle was able to bring it in even if it was behind him, but I let him run the ball where he got like no yards, which means we have to throw it on this next play, and they should have picked it. A 3rd and 10 doesn't really make me feel great. We barely had any time, but there's still a long game ahead of us. I will say though, getting it on the 2-yard line is not a very very ideal start to the drive, which is why I'm glad we were able to get that ball out that quickly. We can't get this one though. And on a 3rd and 10, they are going to have some zone coverage out there on the field, which means they weren't prepared for the run. This is a rough first quarter for us. We've not been able to get any points, but we'll see what we can come up with on 2nd and 13. They have our crossing route covered. Sometimes it's best to just hold on to the football right here. I'm pretty sure their safety can get back to deflect it. And the fact that we get to start this next drive on this position on the field is just incredible. We have a touchdown right here if that throws on the money, which it is. We did absolutely nothing for the first quarter until that throw. And that is exactly why we have the best quarterback in the country. He gets the job done when it matters. My hope is we can also end this first half with some more points. Throwing this on the run, it should be on target. It is. It's also caught. And it all comes back to that mobile dead-eye ability. It's supposed to make those passes on target, which it clearly has so far. With it being 2nd and inches, we can mix in a run. We can let our running back take some time off the clock fighting to the 10. And this is an approach I have no issues with because I don't want them to be able to respond. At some point, though, we're going to have to be able to score ourselves. It isn't happening here. And we might just have to settle for a field goal, though we're hoping that the blocks can hold and we're just going to take it in ourselves. I wanted to hit our slot receiver, but his route did not go deep enough. And just the fact that we could play as terribly as we did in that first half and still be in this position is incredible. I think we're going to be able to get like 25 yards, but I'm still not liking what I'm seeing out of our offense. A little bit of play action is going to allow us to playmaker up the field, and I think that is a dot. We are starting to wake up here with all the time in the world back there in the pocket as well. It allows us to playmaker. These are the plays that go super well. Unfortunately, though, that catch was considered out of bounds, and now we're going to break the sack. Extender ability is going to work. We should be able to get in from here. I'm just going to step up, go all the way to the 4. And Tucker's actually on a perfect route if this is man-to-man coverage. If it's not, though, he would have been picked. Here we go now. It's 3rd and goal. I think we can hit Larkins if I hit that button immediately, but instead we went to the corner. And I think they just challenged if that was a catch. Apparently they gave us a touchdown, so we're up 21-0. It is looking like we're going to close this one out against James Madison. What did I just do? At the end of the game, we are going to have to watch that playback because I am not sure exactly what happened there, but we're still going to be fine. They just can't score. I'm also trying to mix in a couple of runs, which haven't gone that well for us, so we're thrown on 3rd down. But either way, going into the 4th quarter, I can close this out. There have been some bad things that have happened, though. It is something you all will have to see an instant replay because I was so stunned whenever it worked out that way in the game. But James Madison has this one back within 7 points. If we want to close this one out, we're going to have to pick up this 3rd and 5, though they have somebody there ready for the run, and they better not send this to overtime. Well, it turns out our defense did get a stop, but how did that game even get in that position in the first place? What happened in the 4th quarter was this was on like a 3rd and 6. I tried to scramble for the first down, but we did get stopped on a 4th and inches, so we punted. Then they scored and we got the ball back where I immediately threw this hitch route, but our receiver just ran away from the ball, so they got an interception. They would then score again after that, but that's when we just closed things out. And I can't believe it came down to that. We also have to take a look at our fumble from earlier on in the game. We had 2 turnovers for no reason yet. We just lost it. But that's because we tried to slide and I dove instead. You can see all this wear and tear damage continues to pick up really aggressively. We continue to climb the polls at least. We're up to number 20 in the country, but we need to take down Georgia State. And this is actually set to be our final road game of the entire season. On the first play of the game, they're already sending in a blitz, so I can already tell what type of game this is going to be. We can't get down against Georgia State. They're 7-3, so they're one of the better teams in the Sun Belt Conference. And they could be giving us a challenge in this one. If I don't see what I wanted deep, we'll just take our check down. Anderson Castle literally got 0 yards though, which just made that a waste of a play for us. We were patient, and that's going to leave a lot of grass in front of us we can't get free. But we might be able to thread this into our tight end if it's there. If not, we'll take the slant. That also works. On 2nd and inches, my plan is literally just run for as much as we can get. They shove us into the end zone. And that is how we needed to start against the Panthers. Things could get even better here though if they decide to go with man-to-man coverage on Tucker. We just didn't have the time to get it out to him, and I'm not going to allow us to take another sack. It is now 3rd and 9. Zone coverage is going to be pretty hard for us to beat. But we're going NCAA football 14 style with the curl routes, and Shakes is going to be picked. We are so lucky that that kid could not catch, though I don't like how quick they just got in, and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do about that. This time we have double teamed, and we are also going to have that defender beat for a sack. We just couldn't put it over his head. Luckily, they would only get a field goal on our our next drive, I'm going to trust our tight end to come to the ball first. He had that leverage. He can't get loose. But if I see man-to-man coverage, I know what routes we're going to have out there. They're not turning around fast enough to stop it. Now we're looking over at Stroman. If this is cover one, we would have been perfectly fine. It's not though, which means we're scrambling. And it's back to the play that we ran literally just a second ago, which is going to work for us again. Once we get like 4 to 5 completions like this under our belt, you know that all the momentum's on our side. We're going to keep doing it. And it makes sense to hand it off in a position like this, but we're not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to try to run and look at Edwards Jr. going all the way to the 1. That is a play though where it would be nice if we could just break our way into the end zone. And I did try to go for the stiff arm. Man-to-man coverage, we had it. You know what? It is more important that we win this game. I'll hand it off. That's why I don't run the ball. Because sure enough, now as we go into halftime, we're only up by 4. It would have been really nice if we could have just finished that drive off. Right here though, I think we're going to have what I'm looking for. That's an amazing catch. And we have a little bit of a fake bubble, which should have worked better than that. We just got leveled for a fumble. We honestly deserve to be down right now. What is my offensive line doing? This is ridiculous. The pressure that they're generating at the moment is something we can't handle. The worst part is we're going to run it on 3rd and 1 and then not get it, which led to Georgia State scoring again. This is why we stick throwing the ball and nothing else. I will say our receivers are finally starting to play like they're a part of a 1-star school. And this is an extremely important 3rd and 10 where we got the look that we were hoping for, where we've also put the ball where it needed to be. I was not sure we could do it. That's a big play. It's a big throw. Turn around, catch this, get us to the 5. And from here, I might just try to run it in. Anything other than letting our running back get some carries. Just to give him one chance, I will let him go in and lose like 3 yards. So you can see exactly why I've been avoiding letting him have his opportunities. We'll handle it ourselves. Our defense would also force a 3 and out. So we have the ball back with 3 minutes left on the clock. After this play, we're going to be able to take it to the 2-minute warning, which is huge. We're also able to get the first down. I'm waiting on the block right there. And from this point, we are literally just 1 first down away from sealing it, especially now. The Panthers still have 2 of their timeouts, which is a little concerning. But if we move the chains one final time, we will be able to take a knee, and that's what we're going to do. It wasn't worth trying to pad the stats and get a touchdown either. We will go down. Because right now, the only thing that is on my mind is winning a conference championship and making it to the playoffs, which is seeming like a reality. It was honestly one of our worst games, but it secured our spot in the Sun Belt Championship. And taking a look at our ranking at the moment, we've made it all the way to number 15. It's only right that we end the regular season with 1 more rivalry game though. And we know what's on the line. If we lose, we're going to have all of this go to waste, so we have to win. I can see that they're flipping cornerbacks right now. Before we get this next snap off, I probably could have taken advantage of it. But getting a second look at that play, it might not have been there. Right here though, we do have it. It's just number 7 is not fast enough to keep up. I thought he was about to make a play on the ball. That's why if you're going to look deep for anybody, it needs to be your slot receivers. We're about to be on a 3rd and 6. And once again, I have one of our slot receivers going deep, though they're ready for the run if it wasn't there. Teams are starting to adjust a little bit better, making sure they normally have a spot. Or they'll just send heat in our direction, so I have like no time to make a decision. Right here though, this is going to be cover 3 all day. I've seen it a million times. That's a tight throw. And a second after running that coverage, they're literally going to do something similar. We would have had a touchdown, but there was literally 0 chance to get that ball out. Right here with the playmaker, we're finding the end zone anyway. And there's just something so satisfying about rolling out to the left and making throws like that on the run. For this next pass though, everybody's going to the right side of the field, so we couldn't scramble there. And I swear, we should have a chance to throw for a touchdown. We just need Stroman to outrun that corner. Everything has been money for us in this first half, especially the fade routes. That's even a good pass to our tight end. And we're about to make things 28-0. We just need to hit him one more time. I was hoping that would be enough. It wasn't, but they left him so open. And the game would have been over after that if we would have been able to get a stop, but we did. Georgia Southern is trying to keep the door open for a 28-0 comeback. That's our first off-target throw. And my goal for the rest of this game is no matter what, have 0 turnovers. I really don't even want to try to score points before the half, but we got the ball back, so we might as well take a shot whenever they're lined up in that coverage. I'm not quite sure how that ball slips out of your hands right there, but they have 2 guys over there. We probably shouldn't have forced it. I'm just going for a 300-yard, 5-touchdown first half. This is going to be right where it needs to as well. So it's starting to seem like we could actually get this done, especially now. This is our best game of the season. It's not even close. And I think as long as they keep on scoring, we're going to be staying on the field. We have enough time to put that right where it needs to be. It's caught. But I wish we were able to run under the football, and I can't believe we're doing this with 87 speed. 6 passing touchdowns in 1 game. That's what we're going for now. I didn't really look around the field too much there. I was ready to run. And I can't believe for somebody that just stares down one receiver, how well we've played. All they have to do is take away that one guy, right, and I'm in a ton of trouble. But we'll see if they give us a cover 2 look or not. I would have had a touchdown there twice, actually. I got to get it out. And it seems like getting touchdown number 6 is just going to be a dream unless we run for a lot. There's the turnover. There's the turnover. There was absolutely no reason for that. In fact, this one might be intercepted too. I've just completely fallen apart. And to think that this game isn't over with 3.5 minutes left is nuts. They could very well still come back in this one. I mean, we have to slide. We're not going to fumble there. And that means we're giving the ball back. Fortunately, they did nothing with it, so we are going to leave the stadium with a win. But I'm really bummed out about how that entire second half went. Either way, at least we're walking away with a rivalry win. But there's a reason our Monty Edwards Jr. isn't going to be in the Heisman race. It has everything to do with turnovers, though Field General has upgraded to gold. And we're going to have to face off against Louisiana again in the Sun Belt Conference Championship. That really stinks that they had the tiebreaker against Troy, who also went 9-3. And I just can't believe that they are ranked so closely to us. Boise State is also below us. Who took us down? I'm not sure who's going to get those automatic bids. I can confirm, though, we are not going to be a Heisman finalist. And taking a look at these conference championship games, I think it's going to be pretty difficult for us to get a first round bye. That's exactly how it should be, though. If we just beat Boise State, we would be in a much different position. And I am just extremely thankful that we get to host this conference championship. The last time we played against Louisiana, it was a shootout, so I can only assume that this one will also be a shootout, though we're able to draw the defenders down and go to the 30. And their defenders keep on flipping around every time we change up our play call. That's something that could be going in our favor in the future. Our field general ability also just told me that they were going to be out there in cover 3, so I knew they were going to be in zone. And just the fact that we have the gold level of that now makes it so much easier to move the football. It seems to tell me almost every play what coverage they're in. This one it said cover 1, but it has said nothing for this play, and they've just gotten in instantly. I don't know what I'm supposed to do about that. I mean, that was ridiculous right there. We got to pick up this block. What are you doing? It is now 3rd and goal. I'm going to try to throw it behind the zones. We have somebody open in the end zone, but our biggest failure on that drive is our offensive line. It is actually disgusting to get that far down the field and not get a touchdown out of it. This throw was on the run, which gives us that perfect accuracy boost. Once again, we're going to have our receiver off of that route. They were in man-to-man, and it says man-to-man coverage one final time, though they have some zones out there, which means we had to throw that ball low. All right, this one, cover 3, it just popped up. You all might have seen it on the safety. We're going to have our slant, but they're going to respond back with a field goal, and I don't think we're about to beat them deep. Louisiana is really challenging us already, and this is before we face off against any playoff opponents. That's what worries me the most. Are we about to get blown out if we get to the playoffs? I'm not sure how good NC State ended up being. I know that they had 3 losses at one point during the season, but we played well against them. That's the only thing that would make me assume we could also win a playoff game or two. I think it'll all come down to who we draw. Like, I would love to play Boise State again. And I would also love if we weren't already dealing with so much wear and tear damage. It's going to make it hard to finish off this drive. I think on 1st and goal, we should mix in a run. Since we barely run the ball, they weren't expecting it. And I have no issues trying to do it one more time. It actually worked. That is a rare case scenario for this offense. And we even get to start the second half with the ball, but here's the issue. We're already down like -7 speed. Wear and tear damages are picking up, but if this is cover 1, we could have a touchdown right here. That might actually be picked. And I'm not sure what I was thinking. On a 3rd and 10, they sent in a blitz. We're going to have to punt. And they'd end up getting a field goal. It was kind of expected, though. They did the right thing by sending a blitz off of that left side for me. It's almost like the computer has picked up on that being exactly where I want to roll out to. We'll throw to the right. And maybe somebody will be able to get open after we roll out here, but we got to go down. Now, I will say, I'm a little bit nervous to run the speed option because it has been broken in some of the other versions of this game. But that actually looked pretty good for us. It's also said that they were going to be out there in cover 1. All right, we went down on that play. 2nd and 13. We have running backs in the way. But if there is any play that we're going to pick this up on, it is double post because I can always take that last one. I have to say, through 3 quarters, we're in a pretty good spot. But that is only if we're able to actually finish off this drive, which is a whole other ballgame. It's already popped up that some of their players are going to be blitzing out there, so I knew we had to get this one out quick. And unlocking the field general ability is literally the greatest thing that could have happened. Now it's saying that they're going to be in cover 1. It's really going to come down to whether or not we get open with that route. I also knew that we could probably run. We're short. Once again, no issues handing the ball off here. That very easily could have been a fumble. And I am not surprised that they were able to respond, but we have the ball and we're also going to be around midfield. Interestingly enough, they're already starting to call their timeouts and we're going to be able to scramble for quite a bit right here. What are you doing? Don't go out of bounds. They didn't have to use a timeout, so that actually hurt us quite a bit, and I threw it straight at him. I'm actually starting to choke this final couple minutes because I know what's on the line. I have worked all video for this. On 3rd and 5, we just got it over those zones' heads. But here's the thing, because they still have a timeout left, we're not going to be able to run out the rest of this clock. We actually need to punch this one into the end zone, and we're going to be short. Making it 3rd and goal. I'm going to trust Castle. I'm going to let him take it. But there was a chance he fell short. We kicked a field goal and then lost this game. Thankfully, that was not the case. We've beaten Louisiana twice now. And it turns out a 5-star quarterback can get you a conference championship. The next question, though, is this kid capable of winning a playoff game? For whatever reason, inside Road to Glory, I'm getting a notification that our head coach won Coach of the Year. And our offensive coordinator also won Coordinator of the Year, but we couldn't win the Heisman Trophy. Even worse, our Monty Edwards Jr. was all Sun Belt second team. That is a letdown. Especially because passing stats-wise, these look really good. 3,500 yards, 31 touchdowns. The interceptions are a little bit high. Completion percentage is all right. And then he had 753 rushing yards with 10 rushing touchdowns, but it's those 13 fumbles. We had 21 total turnovers in the span of 13 games. When it came to our best receivers, Dalton Stroman out of the slot was definitely the best. After that, we got Grant Tucker and Michael Hetzel. I thought he would finish higher. We're also going to end up with the 3 seed in the college football playoffs, but we're playing either Texas A&M or Rutgers, depending on who wins. And unfortunately, it turns out that it's going to be the Aggies. Before that game, though, we have 12 skill points that we could spend. I thought about improving the mobile deadeye ability, but I think we should go over here to quickness. We haven't touched our speed, and that's going to get us to 85. Will it be enough to take down Texas A&M? I have no idea. But considering their only losses in the SEC championship game, I think I can assume this is going to be rough. No matter what happens, though, as long as we don't lose off of a last-second fumble, I'll be okay. Looking at where we're getting this ball first, I'm actually shocked. We are on a good side of the field, and our defense came up with a stop. It's shown me that they're going to be in cover 1. Will our corner route actually make this catch, though? No, it's flown in the air, and they could have picked it. We're basically going to instantly be on a 3rd and 10. I can also tell that they have a very good pass rusher on that left side. So that drive was terrible. They've once again, though, done nothing. Their corners also started flipping sides of the field, which means we can attack that side, and we've turned all the way upfield to go for a touchdown. That is what we needed right there. We've gotten so lucky. But we're not going to be able to go touchdown for touchdown with the Aggies. They instantly got one themselves, so it's back to 7-7. Hang on, are we about to get our second deep play of the game? How are we outrunning that? We know that those routes are good. Those are the only ones we've had all year that have gone that well. But what did I say the problem's going to be? They're still going to respond back and score again, which means we have to do the same thing. Big runs coming from Edwards Jr. so far. Ideally, this is the final drive of the first half. I knew a blitz was coming just because of the field general ability, and it would probably be good to take a play off and just run for the first down. I'm going to let Anderson Castle get one more carry as well. The blocks are actually looking incredible, so maybe I need to be getting him a little bit more involved. Halfback screen, they could have picked. That was actually terrible. Now it's 3rd and 1. I'm going to scramble because I want to make sure that we move the chains at least. And I've run the clock down to about 75 seconds left in this first half. That might actually be the worst throw that we have had all season. Where is the ball? And we are clearly not taking some of this pressure too well from them. We're going to have to playmaker and hope that we make this catch. It's dropped. Either way, we're going to kick a field goal. And to my surprise, Texas A&M didn't get one themselves. We're in a far better spot than I thought we would be to be starting the 3rd quarter with a lead. But I know that this most likely is not going to last for long unless we are super careful. Games like this are games where you seriously cannot make a single mistake. And that's why you're going to see me running down some clock, because I know we cannot go score for score. Every time we pick up a first down, that gets us one step closer to the semifinals. And 2nd and inches are perfect situations for us to just run. So far, I think this is the best that we have played in a game offensively. It was just only a matter of time before their pressure got in like that, and that means that I'm going to have to make sure to not throw it straight to him. What am I thinking right there? He was open. I just saw a second late. And I feel like we don't even deserve to have this ball back. Somehow our defense forced a 3 and out. I almost think we're taking things a bit too slow because I just got out of a rhythm on that last drive and it caused me to turn it over. I might live to regret this, but we're not going to just chew as much clock as we can during this drive. We're going to actually try to score a touchdown against them. And we will see whether or not we're successful. Right here, they're bringing us down. But it technically was not a sack, and I will continue to scramble if it's there. That's bad. I don't trust our running back to pick up this play. I'd much rather just try to do it myself. though we don't get it. And this is a massive 4th and 1. Will we have enough time to hit our tight end? We were getting tackled as we passed to him. There has been a late flag though, and it's against us. That's a joke. They threw the holding penalty after we already got the first down. That's literally SEC bias at its finest, so instead we had to settle for a field goal and we have to get one ourselves to win. I'm so annoyed right now, but it's not an impossible task. It is something that we can definitely make happen, especially if we don't fumble. But I just know that's how the season's going to end for us, or it's going to be some inaccurate pass that leads to an interception. All this time, all this effort that we have had trying to be careful might not matter. But Texas A&M is panicking. They're calling their timeouts because we're in field goal range. The problem though is if we just continue to run it from here, I know what the computer will do. You would think that we could chew out the rest of the clock, but we can't. We'll see what happens here though. On 3rd and 9, we're going to take the sack, and we've been pulled out of the game. We'll see if they hit. We took a lot of wear and tear damage to get to this point. We better not miss this field goal. It's missed. It's blocked. That's even worse. We're losing off of the dumbest stuff ever. A penalty flag, a missed field goal I had no control of. This is why Road to Glory is so tough. And we didn't deserve to go out like this. We'd been hitting 43-yarders all season. Texas A&M went on to make it to the championship. They didn't even win the title. And I did my best with Monty Edwards Jr. on Appalachian State. I feel like we got his stats to be very good, 94 overall as a freshman. But if there's one thing about this season I wish could have been a bit better, it was definitely the turnovers. We know that they were adding up. And to be fair, it just hit me that I threw an interception against Texas A&M, so if we take that out of the mix, we would have beat the Aggies and advanced on.